happiness. At some point in your life, we've all pondered the question of what do I do to be happy? Who in here has ever been interested in the quest for their happiness? I'm sure everyone at some point has always wanted to pursue this. Now what's interesting about happiness is that there's tons of books and seminars and audio programs that go to this, but they all have different advice. It's all sort of very vague, and everyone has their own take on it. And it can get very overwhelming and confusing. Whose 10-step process you should take? Whose method? Whose principles? What do you do? So a much more or less daunting task is to find out how to be miserable. Instead of thinking of all the ways to be happy, why don't we do the opposite? Think about all the ways that make us unhappy. So fellow Toastmasters, I am David Belkin, and tonight's lecture is over the 7 habits of highly miserable people. Habit 1, stay still. Be isolated. Run inside your house, throw away the key, and stay indoors as much as humanly possible, preferably in the same room or a basement. Don't you dare let that beautiful sun and day and invitations from your friend tempt you from leaving your isolation. And by all means, refrain from all physical activity and exercise. Don't reap that dopamine reward from moving around in the sun. Stay in your cave. Habit 2, embrace entitlement. You need to accept that you are a gift, and that you should expect unwavering respect, attention, and subservience. Responsibility, compromise, and patience are only relevant to other people. You need to foster the idea that not only are you special, but you're actually doing the world a favor by just being here. And anyone who disagrees is either in denial or just wasn't informed. In these particular circumstances, it's really important that you inform them of your importance, just so they didn't hear it. After all, you were put on this planet for the sole purpose to collect. Habit 3, it's always personal. Malicious intent can always be found if you just look carefully enough for it, especially when it comes to friends and family. Your spouse forget to call you today? View this as conclusive evidence that you don't matter to them and probably never have. Your boss gave your coworker the promotion instead of you? View this, it's important that you view your boss as viciously spiteful and yourself as just an overall loser. Remember, ignore everything and always assume malicious intent. After all, if you don't take things personally, no one's going to do it for you. Habit 4, focus on problems. What's the point of having problems if you don't focus on them? Take note of all your problems and put them to the forefront. Accept the idea that you can't move forward with anything until all of your problems are solved. And remember, there's only 2 periods in time that actually matter: the past and the future. All your past problems, all your past failures, all the failed relationships, all the future relationships that you're going to fail, all the failures you're going to have, all the things that you're going to do. It's important to really perpetuate this with the what-if game. I love the what-if game, and I highly recommend it to you. Habit 5, have expensive tastes. You deserve the best and only the best, and anything less should be seen as a deliberate attempt to lower your standards. After this talk, the only thing that should be coming out of your mouth is luxury, first class, and ultra premium. If you don't take your expensive taste seriously, then you have to view this as conclusive evidence that your standards are low. Not only that's a fact. Not only do you know that, but all the people that you've never ever met will see that and know that and tell everyone that you've never met about that. Habit 6. Compare yourselves to others. Remember, whatever goal you're trying to achieve has been done by someone who's had it rougher, has had all the odds against them, has been poorer, more broken, and just more disadvantaged than you ever have. Instead of using this knowledge as a way to encourage yourself to do your best, use this as a tool to perpetuate the idea that your life sucks. And I highly recommend using social media for this endeavor. Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter. It's important that you follow people that are more successful than you, more beautiful than you, and have everything together. And so you can feed into the idea that you have to share everything that you're doing. And remember, all food tastes better through the lens of a camera. And if you're feeling extra good about yourself or feeling particularly good about yourself for some reason, I highly recommend going outside to finding a billboard, specifically one of people that are really nice looking, maybe like a Zooey Deschanel billboard with just beautiful features, wearing clothes that you can't afford. Take note of how they look, and then take a note of yourself. Ponder on the differences. And finally, habit 7, say no thank you to gratitude. All this misery is going to be thrown out the window if you start dabbling into gratitude. It's important that you ignore all the things that life has done for you, and just keep pondering on all the ways that life continually disappoints you. And that's really all there is to it. If you follow these 7 steps, not only will you fuel your next existential crisis, but you will forever trail down the sea of sadness as a sad sailor. And be sure to join me next week when I teach you how to lose friends and alienate people. Thank you.